Welcome to the JJ's Declutter podcast, where we tackle the mess and stress to make space for what truly matters. I'm Janice, here with Julie, and together we're sharing our best tips, tricks, and a little humor to help you declutter your home, mind, and life. Whether it's procrastination or piles of stuff, we're here to help you make real progress. Let's dive in.
Welcome, clutter conquerors and fairy tale fixers, to another enchanting episode of the JJ's Declutter podcast,
where fairy tales meet laundry piles and magical makeovers mean finally organizing that hall closet.
I'm Julie, your fairy godmother of functional spaces.
And I'm Janice, wielding my wand and my label maker like a decluttering wizard.
Today, we follow the trail of two brave kids who face not only a hungry witch, but also the Crumbs of Clutter.
That's right, it's Hansel and Gretel, but not the story you grew up with. No. This one's got storage solutions, snack metaphors, and possibly some Tupperware trauma.
So lace up your walking shoes. We are going on for a journey into the woods of way too much stuff. Chapter 1, the Forest of Clutter. Once upon a cluttered time, Hansel and Gretel lived with their parents on the edge of the world's messiest forest, also known as their living room.
This forest had trails not of breadcrumbs, but of unmatched socks, Amazon boxes, and suspicious snack wrappers that looked haunted.
And their home? Full-blown doom zone. Doom stands for didn't organize, only moved. They just shifted piles from one surface to another until gravity gave up. That's just called clutter shuffling.
You know that corner where the pile leans a little too hard, like it's about to form a union with the floor? That's where the lamp went missing.
Family was overwhelmed. Stuff was everywhere. There was a mysterious drawer that no one dared open because it hummed.
And honestly, the dad had tried. He bought bins. Oh, did he buy bins? Clear, opaque, stackable, collapsible. But guess what? A bin without a plan is just a fancy clutter coffin.
So one day, the parents hit their limit, not because they were evil, because they were exhausted. They needed space, mental space, emotional space, and literal space.
So they set Hansel and Gretel off to declutter the back 40, aka the cluttered garage. But they didn't just wander, they left a trail of breadcrumbs to find their way back.
Classic mistake. Breadcrumbs attract ants and chaos. If you're leaving a trail, at least use Post-its or a task tracker app. Decluttering tip number 1, don't create breadcrumb clutter by thinking, I'll just set this here for now. Spoiler alert, for now is the gateway to forever.
Also, don't send your kids into the garage unsupervised if there is a stack of boxes labeled mystery wires and tax panic.
You know you're deep in it when even the flashlight needs a flashlight.
And if there's a snow globe in the garage sweating in July, it's time to ask yourself, why are we storing magic in meltdown mode?
Now, the kids tried to stay positive. They even started naming zones in the garage. Mount Boxmore, the Great Plastic Plateau, and the Wires of Uncertainty.
Now, naming your clutter zones gives them boundaries and makes you laugh, which is crucial when facing a box labeled Stuff to Deal with Someday from 2013.
One box was filled with remote controls. None of them matched any current devices. It was like a lost civilization's tech archive.
And the garage refrigerator? A time capsule. One bottle of ketchup expired during the Bush administration, the first one.
Oh man, they unearthed 14 umbrellas, all of them broken, and one with a handle shaped like a duck, which Gretel claimed as her decluttering scepter.
Hansel attempted to roll out a yoga mat to sort stuff. It snapped shut like a Venus flytrap. He declared war on the Rubbermaid realm.
Eventually, they found their mom's lost label maker, still loaded, still chirpy. It printed out, "Help me!" Decluttering tip 1.5. Label makers are powerful allies, but only if you're labeling categories, not chaos. Stuff I hate to decide about is not a valid system.
After an hour, they took a water break, which meant drinking Capri Suns they found wedged behind a sled. They were suspiciously tangy.
And that's when Hansel coined the new family rule. If it's older than the family dog, it doesn't belong in the garage.
Chapter 2, The Gingerbread Temptation. You'd think that the garage would be the end of their journey, but no. Next came the basement, also known as the gingerbread zone.
Why the nickname, you may ask? Because it looked sweet and inviting. Bins stacked neatly, boxes labeled, but one step inside and snap, you're stuck like royal icing on a vintage fruitcake.
This was where decluttering went to appear done, but inside those pretty bins, pure chaos. Christmas crafts, half used gift wrap, candle stubs, and at least 3 tangled sets of twinkle lights.
And oh, the temptation to say, we might use this next year.
Spoiler, you won't. If you didn't use it this year and forgot you even had it, odds are next year you'll buy new stuff again because you couldn't find this batch anyway. Decluttering tip number 2, label bins with specifics, not seasonal. Try Christmas, tree ornaments, or winter scarves. Keep, and always check before rebuying.
Hansel tried to sort one bin and found it doubled as a wax museum. Half, half melted candles stuck to old coasters. It was a scented disaster.
Gretel found a broken snow globe inside a Ziploc bag labeled Fix Someday. There was no water left, just glitter and regret.
They made a game out of it. Keep, toss, repurpose, or mystery item roulette. You pull something out, and if no one can guess what it is in 30 seconds, it's gone.
They discovered 5 unused fondue forks, 3 Valentine's bears, and a wedding invitation from 2006 to Gretel and guest.
And don't forget the gingerbread house kits. 4 of them, all expired, all rock solid.
Gretel stacked them into a to donate tower and said, I'm building a legacy of letting go. But to be honest, if they're so stale, you might want to toss them instead of donating them. Just saying.
Just saying. Hansel nodded solemnly and added a pumpkin shaped mug that said, "Spice things up." He whispered, "Today, Satan." Decluttering tip 2.5. If you're keeping items just in case or for someday, give them a deadline. If they don't earn their keep in 6 months, they're evicted.
The basement wasn't about junk, it was about dreams or aspirations. Unfinished hobbies, forgotten plans, memory clutter. That's the stuff that sticks.
So they created a memory lane box, just one bin per person for truly meaningful keepsakes. Everything else had to earn a reason to stay.
At the end of day 2, they were covered in dust, glitter, and determination. But they could see the floor. And that was magic.
Chapter 3, Into the Decluttering Woods. Armed with capes made of old beach towels and snack packs of almonds, Hansel and Gretel ventured deeper into the heart of the house, the hallway closet.
Otherwise known as the vertical Tetris tower. One false move and it rains scarves and tennis rackets.
They knew they had to work smarter, not just harder. So they brought 3 bags: trash, donate, and unsure. And no, the unsure bag couldn't become a 4th closet.
Gretel tackled the games first. If the Monopoly box was taped shut and suspiciously light, it went into donate. Nobody has time to discover it's missing half the cash and the dog token.
Hansel found a snorkel, a back scratcher, and an entire mini waffle maker still in its box. We don't swim, we don't itch that bad, and we have 3 waffle makers, he cried. Decluttering tip number 3. If you forgot you owned it, it's probably not essential. If you own duplicates and only use one, free yourself from the backups.
They made a rule. If it falls on you when you open the door, it loses squatters' rights.
A very aggressive yoga block hit Gretel in the face. She took that personally.
They even found a jacket with a 20 in the pocket. Jackpot! They used it to buy more trash bags. Decluttering karma.
The real surprise, a bin labeled important papers. Inside was 1 sock, 3 expired coupons, a love note from 8th grade, and a gum wrapper folded into a swan.
The hallway closet had been a hiding place for someday stuff, but Hansel and Gretel decided that today was the day.
By the end of the day, they could open the closet door without fear. They celebrated by doing a victory dance with feather boas they found, then donated the boas.
Decluttering isn't about perfection, it's about progress and giggles. Lots of giggles.
Absolutely. Chapter 4, The Path Home. After their escape, Hansel and Gretel don't just stumble back to the old mess. They bring back skills.
They ditch the breadcrumbs and draw an actual map with zones and tasks and time limits.
They divide the house into kingdoms: the realm of Tupperware, the great sock borderlands, and Mount Cuchalot, aka the family room. Decluttering tip number 4, break spaces into zones. 1 task per zone per session. If clean the kitchen feels overwhelming, start with just clear the countertops. Momentum is magic.
The family has a weekly crown clean now. Saturday mornings, 1 hour, 1 zone, 1 snack bribe. No excuses.
They even started a victory jar. For every box decluttered, they wrote down what they let go of and why. Instant accountability and celebration. Chapter 5, The Witch's Cottage Cleanup. So after all that hard work, conquering the garage and the basement, Hansel and Gretel faced their final challenge: the infamous witch's cottage.
Oh, the witch's cottage. It was that one room no one wanted to enter, like the black hole of clutter. You know the type, where everything's supposed to be organized but somehow ended up in a tornado?
Picture this: piles of expired spell books stacked on top of unpaid bills, tangled fairy lights draped over half-used craft supplies, and enough fabric scraps to knit a dozen scarves or a tent.
Plus, the witch herself, a master hoarder disguised as a crafty grandma who swore every item was magically useful someday.
That someday shelf was so full it could have been an exhibit at the Museum of Delusional Storage.
Hansel, always the strategist, pulled out the trusty map. Okay, team, he declared. We need a plan to tackle this chaos without unleashing the beast.
So they did what any decluttering warriors do. They broke the cottage down into bite-sized zones. The spellbook shelf, the potion pantry, the crafty chaos corner, and the memory mantle.
Each zone got its own timer, 30 minutes max, because when you're staring down a pile of mysterious jars, 30 minutes seems like a lifetime.
Mm. Starting with the spellbook shelf, Gretel carefully examined each dusty tome. Some were genuinely magical. Others were just old notebooks filled with grocery lists disguised as incantations.
She found one labeled Wingardium Leviosa, which was actually a recipe for banana bread. Talk about magical multitasking.
They made 3 piles: keep, donate, and seriously, why? Hansel was ruthless with anything that didn't spark joy or couldn't levitate.
Moving on to the potion pantry, the witch's collection of jars was a nightmare. Expired glitter glue, suspiciously solidified potions, and a jar labeled Essence of Motivation, which smelled suspiciously like expired coffee.
Decluttering tip number 5: when faced with mystery jars or bottles, if you can't identify the contents or the smell makes you question your life choices, toss it.
Yep, toss it. Gretel dared to open one bottle and poof, a cloud of glitter exploded everywhere. Now the witch's cottage had a sparkle problem.
But you know what? That sparkle made the work feel a little lighter. Sometimes a little magic is just what a messy space needs.
Next was the crafty chaos corner, a tangled mess of yarn, fabric, beads, and half finished projects. Gretel found a knitting project from 2008, still missing half the yarn and all the enthusiasm.
Hansel tried to untangle a ball of yarn and ended up with a hat for a mouse or a very small witch.
They decided to create a future projects box with a rule. If you haven't worked on it in a year, it's time to say goodbye.
And finally, the memory mantle. This was the witch's shrine of sentimental clutter. Photos, cards, tiny trinkets, and even a slightly melted candle shaped like a frog prince.
They didn't rush here. This zone deserved respect. They let the witch keep her precious items, but made her choose just 5 to display prominently.
Decluttering tip number 6: memory clutter needs boundaries. A designated memory box or shelf lets you cherish keepsakes without drowning in them.
At the end of the day, the witch's cottage looked magical. Not perfect, but livable. Organized, sparkly, and with plenty of breathing room.
And the witch, she smiled, said she felt lighter, like she'd finally let go of more than just.
Turns out decluttering isn't just about stuff. It's about making space for joy, peace, and a little magic.
So Hansel, Gretel, and the witch toasted with glittery lemonade because even decluttering deserves a celebration.
And they live tidily ever after. Your assignment this week: pick a clutter zone, name it, conquer it with our 4-step method: sort, rehome, trash, and release.
If you're stuck, phone a friend or us. We've faced bigger dragons than a box of tangled chargers.
And if you find any weird candy sculptures or haunted teacups in the process, share a pic in the Facebook group, ABC Declutter with JJ Community.
Because community makes the magic, and our community is magic. And magic makes the clutter disappear.
We love weird clutter origin stories.
Name it, claim it, clear it. Until next time,
Keep it simple,
Keep it intentional.
And as always, keep
decluttering.
decluttering.
Oh, it's so funny. Thanks for joining us on the JJ's Declutter podcast. If you're ready to keep simplifying, follow us for more tips and join our Facebook community to share your wins and challenges. Subscribe here because it's always more fun to declutter with friends. And thanks in advance for leaving us a review.